We've all heard of the big four banks. Well, there's another bank that's gaining popularity every day. It's called the Bank of Mum and Dad. Now, I say that tongue in cheek, but it's becoming more popular because first home buyers, particularly young home buyers, are finding it so much harder to get into the marketplace and buy their own home than it was, say, 30, 40 years ago. Two things have happened. Firstly, we've had an increase in property prices, which makes the target a lot harder to hit because you're saving a deposit and all of a sudden property prices are going up and you say, oh, that's not enough, we need to save some more. And you keep sort of chasing your tail. That's number one. And number two is we've had about 13 interest rate rises over the last couple of years, which makes getting into the property market a lot more difficult. Because the banks are making it harder for you to qualify because of the increase in interest rate rises, but also because as interest rates increase, your out-of-pocket expenses, what you have to pay the bank, also increase, taking it off the market for a lot of younger people. For example, in 2019, you needed about $210,000 to enter the property market to buy your first home. Only 5 years later, today in 2024, you need closer to $330,000. No wonder people are so frustrated. It used to take about 3 to 4 years for the average couple to save for a deposit. This is about 30, 40 years ago. Today, it's taking them closer to 10 years to save a deposit for a home. No wonder people are frustrated and feel like they're kind of lost. So, what are your options? How can you buy your own home in this current marketplace? The first is the most obvious, is you can cut down on expenses. Oh no, not me. I need the latest shoes, I need the latest sportswear, I need the latest. Listen to me very clearly. Immediate gratification costs you money long term. To try to keep up with the Joneses and this FOMO thing everybody wants not to miss out, it's going to cost you dearly. If you can cut down on your expenses on unnecessary things, you will save yourselves a couple $100 a week. Over a year, that's an extra $10,000. It's not much, but it's going to help you get closer to your goal a lot sooner. So the first one is cut down on your expenses, and you're the only person that's got control of that. No one else has control other than you. Number two is, if you really want to get into the property market, you may have to move much further away than where you're currently living. For example, I talk to a lot of people in the eastern suburbs that love living in Bondi and Coogee, but they're so desperate to enter the property market, they can't afford $3, $4, or $5 million to buy their first home in Coogee. You might have to move way further west, further north, or south, but at least you can get your foot into the property market. So think of relocating, and you'll be able to do that. Thirdly, is why don't you apply to the Bank of Mum and Dad? I know a lot of parents are really dying to help their children. The bigger deposit you can get from mum and dad, the less you have to borrow from the banks. The less you have to borrow means that your monthly repayments are much less. And the good thing about borrowing from mum and dad, if you're fortunate enough to do that, is once the property prices increase, you can always draw down on the equity and pay back mum and dad. And number three is, and a lot of people are doing this nowadays. As a matter of fact, last week I was having a coffee and the waitress who knows me quite well, she came up to me, she says, listen, can I ask you some questions about property? And she saved quite a sizable amount of money. She wants to get into the property market, but the amount of money is not enough to buy her a home in the area that she wants to live. So what I recommended is to rent vest. She goes, what's that? Rent vesting is exactly that. You rent, continue renting in the area that you like. You might like to live in Bondi because it's close to the beach, shopping centres and so on. Continue renting there, but invest in an investment property as well. You see, the difference between buying your own home and an investment property is this. If you buy your own home, the mortgage has to come out of your pocket after tax dollars. You don't get any tax benefits whatsoever. But buying an investment property, you can claim all the expenses, both cash and non-cash. So the amount that comes out of your pocket is much, much less. I'm finding a lot of our clients recommend that to their kids as a way to enter the property market. Look, I've shared with you 4 ways to save a deposit to enter the property market. However, if you're a little unsure and you want some more clarity, please feel free to write me a message in the DM below and reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to get back to you. After all, I'm here to help you help yourself. See you at the top.